Good afternoon. Today I'm going to be doing a review of this guy. This is the Walkup Pro from a company called ZDEER. It's a Chinese company, and this is a device used for cupping and guasha. So these are both massage kind of recovery health practices originating from ancient China. If you're not familiar with them, what cupping is I consider it kind of like a reverse massage. So you have these cups and it creates a suction. So traditional massage, you're really pushing. Good afternoon. Today I will be reviewing the Walkup Pro from ZDEER. This is an electronic device used for cupping and guasha therapy. If you're not familiar with these therapies, they originate in ancient China. Cupping, as the name suggests, uses these cups, and I'll talk a little bit about everything that comes with the unit to create a suction. So I think of it like a reverse massage, because in a traditional massage you're typically pushing and compressing, whereas cupping is pulling. It's good for blood flow to specific areas. I have experimented with cupping a little bit over the last few years, and I do find it to be a useful practice and therapy. Guasha involves using stone. You can get steel tools, and guasha is scraping the skin, essentially, which breaks up the fascia, creates heat, increases blood flow. Again, I've also used this quite a bit in the last few years, and I have found it also to be a very effective therapy for recovery. So this is a device that does both of those. So the ZDEER Walkup Pro comes with a couple of these boxes. One has the cups themselves, and then the other has the device. It comes with a USB 3 charging cable, and you can see that's the charging point right there, the charging port. So hopefully the focus is good enough. This area with all the bumps, this is what you're going to use for the guasha and for the scraping, and that actually heats up when you press a specific button. This is going to be the vacuum for the suction. Overall build quality, it's made mostly out of plastic. The outer case is plastic, and then the guasha area is out of, I think, stone, if I'm pronouncing that right, which I guess is the traditional guasha material. It's got some buttons on the top and the display, but otherwise, yeah, it's well built. It's comfortable to hold. The battery does last a while. I have let it go all the way through and charged it once, so it does have a pretty good battery life. And then I'll show you the general operation. So it's a little bit hard to see. This is the power. So I'm going to hold the power button, and now we got a full battery and we got 0. So this button turns on the vacuum for the cups, which I'll show in a little bit. And this button turns on the heat for the guasha, which I will also show in a little bit. So I'm gonna, oh, and then I forgot one button. This button lets go of the pressure for the cupping. So the heat does take a minute or two to heat up, but once it does heat up, you can feel it along that ridged surface with the stones. And then this unit also comes with a number of cups of various sizes. You can see there's all kinds of different sizes. So that's very useful, very nice to have. And it comes with, so every cup, because they're not assembled when they come, so this is just in case you wanted to buy your own and you were confused. It comes with this orange guy, and then this little plastic tip, this plastic stopper, which is how you would let go of the pressure. Note, because it took me a few minutes to figure this out, this is the configuration, because they come separate, so you do have to assemble all of those yourself. And then, so let's put a cup on so I can show you how that works. So I'm going to take this medium-sized cup, I'm going to put it in the hole so it creates this shape, so that there's a seal. Then I'm going to put it on wherever I want to put the cup. I'm going to put it to number 5 so it creates the suction. Right, you can see, I get a little bit closer so you can see how it's sucking. And then I can just pull it off and I can leave this guy there. And That's going to stay on, and then I can do that with a number of different cups. I can put the cups on my back, on wherever they hold. And then again, if you're not familiar with the therapy, you just leave them on for a while. You can do some movement, and you can see, try to get a little bit closer, right? It's pulling the blood. So it's like the opposite of a pressing massage. It's pulling. And again, you can experiment with different size cups in different areas. To take the cup off, very simple. You pull the plug and it just comes off right there. And then you can see sometimes you might get a little bit of bruising from the cupping, from the blood rushing in, so everyone responds a little bit differently. But that's basically how the cups work, and that's basically how this guy works. You can set the suction from number 1 to number 5. I've just been using number 5, and then you can put as many cups as you want, as you can handle, and you can leave them there. So now the stone, now that it's been a couple minutes and it's heated up, the stones actually feel hot to the touch. And again, you can set that from 1 to 5. I put it on 5. And then you can do this without oil. I think typically use some kind of massage oil as well. You can scrape along the skin. You hold at a little bit of an angle. And this is the Guasha practice, which again, it can release some adhesions, can get into the fascia, helps to move the skin, helps to increase blood flow. I'm not an expert on all of the benefits of Guasha, but as I said, I've used it a lot over the last few years with various tools, and I do find it a useful recovery practice. So with the heated stones, it does feel quite good. The only negative with the shape and with the stones, so it's hard to get a lot of leverage in a specific point. So some of the Guasha tools I use are steel, are a little bit different shape. So that's kind of the only negative with using this as a Guasha. It does feel good, but if you're someone like me who likes a very high pressure massage, it's hard to get that kind of pressure and leverage given the shape of the tool. But that being said, still feels good to use, and I can show you one more time what that ridge looks like. So it's these ridges. This is the stone surface that heats up. So if you compare this to a traditional cupping practice, in order to create that vacuum, that suction, they're going to either use an actual hand pump, or I think more traditional, they actually use fire to burn up the oxygen and create the suction. I think this is a lot more convenient than both of those, especially let's say you're a therapist and you're working with a client. You just put the cups on, suck, create the suction, onto the next one, onto the next one. So it's very efficient. I'm typically doing this to myself, so I have to reach, but it's still convenient because I can put multiple cups on me and then I can just hang out. The cups do stay on pretty well. I have a lot of body hairs, so the cups stay on very well in areas that aren't particularly hairy. So I found no problem with arms and back for me. Chest, the cups don't stay on that well, but that's pretty typical with cupping in general. It's not as body hair friendly massage practice as some other practices. There are other electronic cupping devices that I've used. I do have one that's pretty effective, but the issue with that is you can only do one area at a time. So I do one area, I move it to the next one. So the advantage of the ZDEER Walkup is that I can use it to place multiple cups, which offers an additional benefit of the therapy. So overall, I think it's a great device. I think if you're into cupping, either, again, just for yourself for recovery, or if you're a therapist that includes that in your practice, I think it's a really useful tool to have. I think it's very efficient and convenient. Works really well. Battery life is great. It has the added benefit of the Guasha, the heated stones as well. So definitely, I think it's worth checking out, either if you're into cupping and you want to try it, or maybe you haven't tried cupping yet and you want to get into it. A couple negatives, because it is an honest review, so you have to be honest. It's hard to see, so you have these little rubber buttons, and again, I don't know how much the light is going to show that from this angle. So you have power, you have cupping, you have Guasha button, and then you have pressure release. You have to remember what those mean, because other than power, they're not the symbols aren't very intuitive. You have to memorize that. If you're not in a well-lit area, like sometimes I'll use this if I'm watching a movie where I have most of the lights turned off, it's hard to tell which buttons are which. So just keep that in mind. When you do press a button, the display is in Chinese, right? Which obviously it's a Chinese product, so it's what it is. But I don't understand these characters. So for me, I just have to remember, like, okay, I pressed the cupping button. Now it's on a number 5. So I just have to remember what that was and that I did that. So just something to keep in mind as far as positives and negatives of the product. Right, so that is my review of the ZDEER Walkup Pro. We have to be transparent. So I did receive a free product in exchange for an honest review. And if you decide that you like this product and you do want to try one out and purchase your own, I have included a link and a discount code where you can get 10% off. And if you do buy that code, again, to be transparent, I do get a small commission from that purchase. So hope you've enjoyed this review. This is the ZDEER Walkup Pro. If you have any other products that you would like me to review, feel free to contact me directly and maybe we can figure something out. Other than that, let me know what else you'd like to see on this channel. Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, all of that, and I'll see you next time.